Team, welcome back. Our continuation for our core Java training. This is March 2020. I believe we are right now in our day 5. No, day 6. And yesterday we wanted to do a few things, and we are in that progression team. And I just want to mention this that what is mob programming and so on. I'll discuss about it. Primarily coming together as a group and trying to understand what's happening. So we did a little of that yesterday, and these concepts will keep going. And we spent most time in the team assignments. That's good. It was really enlightening. I hate using heavy English words, but sometimes it comes out. It was a nice session, team, where I could see all of you presenting and how you were practicing, how you were progressing towards development. So this is a good one. All right. So today, team, any questions before we go further? Anyone have challenges that we can resolve right now? Or maybe we do a few topics, we cover them, and we come back to some of the Q&A, okay? All right. So team, back to our Eclipse. Is this the one? Yeah. So we were discussing while loop, and we had a few of the assignments. I don't have the assignments here, team. When you get a chance, please do put them as a Java file in Skype group. I'll take and put it as a collection so I can share with everyone. All of these programs is a good collection. So team, so far we've been looking at how we print out into our console and how we get outputs. Let's talk about something more on inputs, team. So here I'm going to talk about more of a system inputs or IN. Let's have a main method and finish. I'm going to delete the comment that typically comes out and delete any unnecessary spaces for now, team. It's okay to keep separations, but that's fine. Okay. Now, so here is what the thing is. What I want to do is take an input from a user and give a result back. So these are the things. Now, what kind of a result? Let's say X is the input. X is input. Then Y equals X plus. I'll not complicate it, team. I'll just express 5. I wanted to add a formula with it, but let's not do it. And team, just letting you know, I come pretty much impromptu with what or how I want to present my sessions. I come with what I want to do. Like, okay, today I want to cover these topics. But as to ideas of how I want to express it to you in a live webinar, I just try and take that moment to see what are you all feeling and so on, and then come up. So this is going to be something very simple, team. So what does that mean? I need to take an input from a user. So if I say SSO and print, here you go, and just run this as a sample one for now. And here you go. Okay, so I've got that sentence up, but now I want to print out saying enter X, right? So I want the user to enter X out here. And if I print this out now, sorry, if I run this program, I'm going to get, okay, enter X, but there's nothing for me to enter. See, if I'm typing here, there's nothing going in. And that is when we use the scanner scanner is a component that helps us, and this is where we'll get slowly start getting used to the packages and other jar imports that we could do. Team, some are built in, some are external with Java or any other, even Python and so on. Scanner helps us to scan things. So if I say this is my scan 1 or scan, I'll just say equals a new scanner, and here team is where I put system dot in. Do you notice this? Okay. Do you see the input stream out here? So there are two things, team. Output stream is what we're getting from the system to our console. Input stream is what we can take from the console. Why am I not using my spotlight? So what saying output stream is take the result from here to the console. Input stream is if I enter anything here, how can I take it back to my program? How is that applicable? The next assignment, or at least what I'm going to be doing, will become relevant. Okay, where am I? So I'm saying here system dot in right now, and that's my input stream. The scan input stream is already open and ready to supply input data. Lot of English. But let me read it. So primarily it's going to take the inputs whatever we give from the source team. So I think this is the right format. Sometimes upper lowercase makes sense. End of my semicolon. So most importantly, what I see is this is line 1, and I don't think I've done any imports so far. What happens in Java team, and I'm not documenting all of this, is just something that I'm recording, I assume. If you want to go back, you look at the video and look into it, is I need to import a class if it needs to perform that specific tasks. It is like saying so, you know, like when we say a shortcut keys in a mobile where it launches our applications and so on, right? That's a simple one. To all the way where in our car we set like cruise control, or we do anything like auto drive, or how it even detects how you know it's interacting with everything. I lost my thought. 1 second, sorry. So now this is all about a car, correct? And in general, Java says how I can interact with you know, basic amount of data and conditions. But then I can have a cell phone which is a different type of an object, and then maybe I have a human, a different type of an object again, and so on. So with all these classifications that come in, what Java basically did is to make sure that, all right, you know what, club all of this into one jar file, and it coincidentally represents almost like a bottled jar. I'm bad at drawing, team. And once you say that Java needs to work with it, that okay, everything about car is inside it, or everything about a human is here, I don't know, cell phone is here, then it does not need to relearn everything. These are packaged things. We will learn a little bit more about packaging and so on later, team. But now back to our sorry for all the gibberish things there. If I take my mouse over, team, on scanner, it will ask me to import scanner from the Java utils. So you will see from your runtime library, there are certain libraries that are already there. And then you need to import certain more as and when you go. They're available for us, but you need to keep importing. So as of now, I'm importing team. I see one hand raised. Uma, can you wait for a couple more minutes and then we can go through that? I just want to finish the flow of it. Okay. If you don't mind, we can put the hand down and we can come back. Great, thank you. So now, SC, where am I? Okay. So here's where I'm taking an input team. This is what I'm saying, that I want to take an input from the user. So whenever I want to now, so let's say I already this one, I'll put it now and say int of I equals something like sc dot next int, and then print value of y is basically a formula of I plus 5. That is what we want to get. So here the 3-4 things, team, that I want you all to look into, please. Line 11, do not worry too much. We will talk a little bit more. But what you need to understand is it is creating something called as an object SC as of now. Since I didn't get into classes and oops, I'm not explaining yet, team. But for the next exercise or what we're going to do, this is important. SC is now something that I can talk to. I can give it some properties, or I can ask it to do some functions or methods or actions. What is SC? It is system.in. System.out gives whatever we print out here. System.in basically takes whatever we input here back to us. So in here, now all I'm saying is line 12 is system.out.println, enter X. Right? Next line, team, I've created a new integer called I. You can always create I out here. Not a problem. Sure. Oopsie. And so declared here, and I'm initializing it here and using it here. Everyone, that's what we saw in variables. Declaration, initialization, using it. Beautiful code that way. Now, what am I doing here, team? Sorry. What am I doing here? sc.nextInt. I'll talk about what is nextInt or next line and so on in a couple of minutes. As of now, whatever we take, it'll take it as an integer. All right. And the value of it, I can print here and say value of I is plus I itself. Now are we ready to run this code, team? So far, any questions on the code? And let us try and answer our questions before we run the code. So that way we have clarity and we don't have any. Yes, Uma, you had a question. Should I unmute you now? I'll try.
Karthik, I'm sorry, I didn't really realize that I was taking that. I don't have any questions.
Okay,
sorry.
No problem. Thank you. Sorry, I put you back on mute. Team, any question? Let me know, please. What we are trying to do? What is okay? So still didn't understand what sc.nextInt. Correct. Yes, that is right. So we still don't know what this is doing. So let us run first. Then we'll do a debug run again. Hello, is it running? Oh, I didn't stop the earlier one. Okay. Stop. And you know what, team? Sometimes if you have something in console as old content, just say remove. So it'll take away all that display what was there. Let's rerun this. Let's first run it with a rise. Okay, integer I. Here you go will come. Then SC is created here. That's line 11. That's one of the things. Then enter X. Then I equals SC dot nextInt. That's where the question came. And then a few more commands here. So let's see how this works. So here you go. My cursor is pointing somewhere, but you know, if I start clicking anywhere and typing, I'm typing a number thing. So I'll put 1, 2, 3. You see it's typing here after enter X automatically, though I selected here. And then I hit enter. Once I hit the keyboard enter, I'm expecting two outputs from line 14 and 15. See, it's not a debug run, but it is waiting for my instruction out here still. Okay, team. In a real application, we wouldn't want to do this, but more from a practice one, we're fine. So there you go. Value of y is 123. I is 123, or rather, actually, that was x. And then y is 128. So we can correct this. And now let's retry again for one more value. And see where I'm clicking. Okay, this time I'm okay. Let's click here again. 445. Wherever I click it will start typing on that line. So now it's taken as 3445, and that's the output for us. So this is a great way for us to take inputs and outputs. Okay. Now this is for an integer. Now the same thing when I want to do for a string that we can send. For example, someone has a username. So I'll say there's a string called uname. I want a user to enter, and a string called user password. And say I'm defining both the variables in the same line, and they both seem to be related to each other. So makes sense. Okay. And the abbreviation I used is simple. It's not saying it's a variable, just saying uname, PSW, username, user password. I commented the earlier lines, team, so we kind of almost have to create the whole thing again. Let's do again. Scanner SC equals new scanner. What I'm looking at line 12 right now, team. I don't even have to remember. Once I know scanner, I know I can do it. Can I okay, question to all. Can you all comment on this? Can I reuse the word SC as is? Yes or no? As of now. Can I reuse? Wow. I thought I'll answer it, but then when I'm seeing the answers right now, believe me, almost half of you are saying yes, half of you are saying no. What is the right answer then, T? Let's look at the logic. Where else is SC defined? All this is commented. I don't care anything in the comment. You can write ultra gibberish things you want in there. I wouldn't care. It's defined here. I don't care. So yes, obviously you can create scan as with the word SC again. You don't have to say SC underscore new or new or KK or 1. You can reuse that. Absolutely yes. Okay. So yes, so these are the basics where I don't want you to slip away. Understand? That's why I'm taking time to explain them or re-emphasize. So go back. There's nothing lost. This is where we will win this battle. All right, where am I now? So now I'm having a new one. But this time, what I'm saying is, last time I had an integer I. Now I have a username. I'll say uname equals SC dot next, and you see um, SC dot next, whatever we send next line, next long. Okay, see, I have next integer in, you know what, next line. I'll just use this for now, and then as of now, print username is Tintin plus uname. Is this code correct, team? Anything you see wrong? Use uname, password. Why is there an underline on password? Not a error, but a warning. I did not use UPSWD. Why is there an underline on SC? Let me see. Is never close. So basically at the end of it somewhere, I want to say SC dot close. So that way the scanner is terminated. That is what we are trying to do. Let's run this. I'm sorry I'm taking so much time on some basic of these things, team. What's happening? Nothing ran. Okay, I saved it. I think it is ready to take inputs. The way I know sometimes is when I enter and it comes in green, and then I'm getting this. So the better way to do it, team, is SSO and say enter username. Okay, that's it. And let's rerun this now. See, I got this. Now I'll enter Karthik is my username. It's taking me to the next line, team. And it's saying username is Karthik. I want it to take the input in the same line. So I'll copy that and type it here. And this time I'll just say print instead of ln. Print ln takes me to a new line. I'm assuming hopeful all my Java journey. So do I click here? When I type, it's coming in the same line. Do you see that, everyone? That's my difference between a print line and a print, where I'm printing. Though it's an output, where I'm scanning, it starts from the next position. Print ln will take the cursor to the next one otherwise. Team, sometimes you may have to watch this video again. It's not confusing at all. It's just how things are built slowly. So next int is this, line is there. So we don't have anything anymore. Believe me, w3schools.com, like you keep saying, go to Java out here, and we're looking at what user input. There you go. See, can you see it's a little more advanced, not advanced, but as you further scroll down on Java classes, user input. So here, there we go. Almost the same thing. System.in, next line. And here are the only few things, team. Boolean that you want to enter, that Java, you're telling Java to accept. Is it a byte? Is it a double float, int, a new line, a long, or a short? So these are the different things that we're entering. Usually text, that whatever you want to enter in, use string. Integer, double, boolean, those precisely like cover most of the purpose. Otherwise, search it around. So I've got the username, team. Now, how do I get the password? Now look at this. Do I need to again create SC? No. I'll just say UPSWD equals SC dot next line it's an important one, team, where we're going the next couple of minutes. SC dot next line, user password. Wow. I don't need to enter anything here. It actually doesn't take inputs. Username is so and so. That's good. Bear with me, team. I'm just trying to build something little not aesthetic, at least something that we can look at easily. Fix it. Here, username is a password, enter username in the same line, and then username is so and so, and then I'm gonna do the same thing again, team, before this. So see now in here, this declaration of the scanner is not needed here for me. I could declare it even out here. So that way I have, let's see what happened. So I have these declared, enter usernames. Then I have this. So these are my variables. Team, when I'm programming, sometimes I may not be speaking too much. I'm just trying to make it very easy for us to look at. And then so team, can you all read the code? That's one of the most important things, right? Do you think all's good? Any challenges that you notice? Yeah, we'll do while loop. We'll do a lot of plenty of while loops. Team. Let's get this logic, then we'll apply. So let's read. So I have two variables. This is how I want you to do, team. It's not that I'm patient or something, but this is the process. So let's make sure that we follow it. So I'm reading along with you. So two declarations, two strings here, username, password. Next is a scanner. It will start taking anything till I close. Now I have a print, two prints just as a separator. That way I know, like, okay, you know what, these are different sections with each. Okay. Then the first is we're taking a username, print only. We're not saying print ln, so we can type it in the same line. And in the next line, I'm printing whatever is the username. If I keep using print all of it, you'll see the differences, and that's where you can keep on playing team. I'm only creating one version of it, commenting. You keep playing, don't change it. That's playing around with the code. Enter password, and then next line password is UPSWD, and then we're saying close. So now let's see if this works. It is autosave is working. So that's, see, a couple of things. The fact that I'm not doing a debug run. I see a stop here. I can stop my test, and it's still in an execution mode. I click anywhere and I say username is KK. Username is KK. Very good. So now I can, you know, almost I can click here, but once I start typing, it's taking it in enter password, because that is how we coded it. So now I have my username password combination. Good team. So you're seeing how we can take inputs from the user. Everyone, any questions? I have one more to do. J15, then on. Let's do a bank assignment. Team ready? I'm doing an assignment. One version of it. Version 1. Version 1. Okay. Then version 2. The team needs to do it. All right. Let's talk about version 1. So team, basically it's a bank assignment. Very simple. There are actually multiple versions. Version 2 plus, I'll say. Team plus little bit of KK. What is it? The purpose is very simple, team. I have a username, password in a good database, in secured database. User can log in only if combination is correct. Second thing, oh sorry, yeah, or rather more added clauses to it. User is given up to 3 attempts to log in. After that, no more. Program ends. This is how it is seen. That is a requirement. Now, how can we execute it? You all kind of think through the assignment task. I'm going to show you quickly my approach, team. I'll be increasing my speed a little bit because we're learning a few things, so we can maybe work with it. So I know that I'll have a username and password, string u name up. All right. Now I don't have a database. The database is like external. So we'll hard code for trying the logic. See. So how do I hard code? I'll say I'm kind of almost covering my tracks, team. Even if someone comes in future, why did you do it this way? Why not that way? I'll say this is the reason. As the username, the correct one is KK. And user password, see, the correct one is 123, for example. Right. Now, team, please do notice that the spaces and all this are not strict within Java. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just more from how we want to see things. So that's done. Now, next comes, what did I want to? User can log in if the combination is correct. So what does that mean? Check for correct data. How can I check that? How do we check, everyone? What's the way we can verify if it's correct? Correct. There's only one answer, team. Come on, guys, quick. If condition, right? If. So I'll say if un equals, but team, when you're doing string comparison, use dot equals t. That's the method. Whenever you're doing string, and then you say kk, again hard coding. But if that is correct, then half the battle is correct. Then what we will do, another if statement in it. Let's say if you password dot equals, I'm not ignoring case because I'm case sensitive on this. So I'll show you the difference also a little bit. Ignore equals, ignore case and case. And here the password is 123. Then perfect. And I'll say so. User logged in. Team, this user is given up to 3 attempts and all that later. One after the other, we will build the logic. Is that clear? So, else I will say incorrect password. Now, else here I will say incorrect username. Now, look at this team. It will help us to master if once again, everyone. Line 20, and see how I'm using the indents so that there's a clarity. Line 20 is my if. If username equals KK, then I will do everything till this else, which is again another if whatever. Okay. And here I can print something like this is so. See, your name is correct. In that right? Username is correct. And here I'll put another so and I say user password is correct. So team, please don't get confused with too many print statements. It's just for a little bit more clarity what we want to do. And this way, sometimes there is more ample clarity. So this is my code. You can always look at code in a simple way. Team. So look at this condition now. Username equals to KK. Then I'll come here into the if statement. Oh, username is correct. Password is also correct. User password is correct. User logged in. Perfect. Else, I will say that, you know what? Incorrect password. I cannot help it. Username is correct, but incorrect password. Again, it's being a very friendly app, so don't consider that too much. If the username itself is not correct, see the cursors, the way they're moving. I know now that incorrect username, and it's done out here. And this is one possible way to do it, maybe. Let's execute and see. So it's all hard coded right now. The username is correct, username is password is incorrect. Now, if I change it to lower case and rerun this, incorrect username. So username itself is incorrect. KK, good, but wrong password, 124. Username is correct, incorrect password. So this works great as is. Okay. Now, are you all with me, team? Any questions so far? J16 underscore bank assignment 3, no 2. All right. Let me know if there are any questions, please. Should incorrect username come before incorrect password? Again, this is not one of the best applications from a logic perspective. Why should I even tell the user that, hey, your username is correct, but try a different password? Why should we be so security unconscious? Let us not do that. And that is why we have to build better ones. So the logic is the same, team, that we kind of want to build in the next version 2. But what I'm going to do is take the whole thing. But first, I want the user to take the inputs from how we enter. Remember? I'm deleting those old comments, team. So where was our system inputs? And all I need to do is create a scanner. That's the first thing. And here, sc dot next line. And I can't give that. So I have to use enter username like this. I'll copy this, team. But here my variables are UN and UP. So now team, what we're doing is the same thing, but just let me rerun this code. Oops. UP, correct, and UN, correct. Now run as. So that's what it's saying. And now what we want to do is put that logic here. Are you getting what I'm doing, team? Now I want to put that logic here. So this will close. I don't have anything else to do with that input. And if username is KK and so on, okay, username is correct. Now can we try this, team? So my expected value is always this. Correct username. And this is the correct password. I run this test now or program. Again an error. Maybe the fields, let's see. Which line? I think we have an additional curl bracket, and that's why I had an issue. All right, let's run this now. Is it running 16? Let's see. Yep. Username KK, password 123. It says incorrect username because I entered lowercase. Okay. Now I'll rerun this for the correct scenario. KK uppercase, correct password 123. Username is correct, user password is correct, user logged in. I mean, not the best, but it's showing you how it can be executed. Now, team, a user might do this repetitively. You understand what I'm doing, what I'm trying to say? And say, hey, you know what, can we log in or not? Can we log in or not? Can we log in or not with this data? So before we go forward with how we can do it for those 3 attempts I was discussing, let's discuss a little bit about functions. I'll introduce you to them, and next session we're going to do more on functions, loops, and integrating them together. J17 underscore functions. All right. When I switch keyboards, the spacing in them becomes all right. So team, primarily, if I can explain it to you, 3 types of functions, team. What does a function do? So look at it this way. If I want to make a phone call, correct? I just say, pick up the contact number from my list and say, call this person. And the call goes in and we get to speak to them as to what's happening and so on. So the whole operation is included within a dialing. So more like a shortcut scheme. There, I'm saying that, you know what, I'm going to reuse the same process over and over again. I'm drawing a blank. Give me a second. So yes, for example, let us say, now I think it's easier sometimes to explain quick. I have 2 numbers, integer I, comma j. And now I has a value of 10 and j has a value of 20. So I want to say what is the output of I times j is or equals to plus I plus j. But I also want to print saying that so value of I equals plus I, so value of j equals plus j. Now team, I'm taking you back into the code a little bit, variables and programming, so we can better understand the functions and come back to this code. All right. Is there anything wrong that you see in the program? Yes, on line 12, and that's because maybe my j has to be lowercase. All I did is declare two variables I and j. I is 10, j is 20. Three print statements. Value of I is so and so, value of j is j, value of I times j is I plus I star j. And sometimes to be careful, team, just encapsulate them within brackets. That way it won't go wrong. So now let's run this. Right, so we got this value. Now, when it comes to functions, team, what are we trying to achieve? Let's look at it. Basically, three types of functions, team, that we need to look at. Don't save this. All right, we'll come to this explanation, team. What functions can do. Now, let's write a few functions. I want to rename this. So if I want to rename a file, team, I basically do something called as refactor. Because what happens in a Java environment or a project, this specific Java class may be called and used in some other program, and it will automatically get adjusted every other reference to it. That's why. So this is finish. So it will also change the name of a program. I don't need to change it here again. So sorry if I'm making the class boring. Primary level best functions based. Right. So team, here is my main method, correct? Now, anything I do in here, it's all about functions, team, focusing here. This is my start, and this is my end. All that will happen in the program is only in these lines. Understand that. It cannot happen anywhere else. So if I execute this program, it'll execute it. It'll say, fine, oh, cool. Start end. Whatever we do here is going to come in. Now, when I go about talking about functions, there are three types. Just as activity. It's like, let us say that I want to print a line don't know what's happening with my keyboard. What? Okay. Speaking CISO to something else. I want to print, right? Like a specific character, whatever I want, not too keen. Multiple number of times. All I do is I'll say that there is a function and declarations and how they are dependent on each other. Team will talk later. And I'll say void function A and put all of these into one curl brackets. So indents are not mandatory, but a good thing. So I can look at this. Now see my class, and we will get to know more about class in the next couple of sessions. See, has one main method and a function. So now when I execute, I have 1, 2 print statements here, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, then 3 here. How many print statements will come out here, team? When I execute it, how many print statements will come out? So we got 5, we got 2, we got mixes of it. And team, I ask these questions because that is where we can correct ourselves. Okay. Now see, I got only 2. I'll add one more here. Almost the end. Now re-execute. Now I have 3, but I don't have 6. Why? Because I did not call the function. So first is declare a function like a variable. Instead of data, it has steps as to what to do. And this time I want to do, let's say, so all I do is call that function by that name. Now I've created my own personal function. Now I run it, I will get all of these. Now see, let us say I want to print it like this multiple times. I have a need and I need to achieve this. So I do this. Okay. Now I have a change in it. That the first line has to be $, the second line has to be an underscore, and the third line has to be whatever, dash. Now I rerun this code, team. It will automatically adjust itself. So what that primarily means is I'm able to repeat my code. I change it in one place and it automatically reflects everywhere. And that's the first type of a function. Team, I need 10-15 more minutes today, if that's fine. Then I have the second type of a function. Oops. Okay, a little long one. I will print what you give. Let's print. So look at this team. It takes an input, and that's my function B. So when I call function B, I cannot just call it by saying fun B, like function A. See, it says there's an error. Why? Function B takes an input. It needs something that you have to send to it. So if I send XYZ, then it will start printing that. So it will say, I will print what you give XYZ. Now I can repeat the same function, and depending on the inputs, the output would come out. Clear, everyone? Have a crystal clarity on this. Don't, because it's tough to keep progressing without that. That's my second type of a function. Now, functions don't need to necessarily take one input. You can take multiple inputs. So I can say that function C as a string print me and int age. Okay. And say, for example, don't print my age, and I will say also the age. No print age. That's the name of the variable, not declared here. No print. So the whole purpose is very simple. The association is happening based on what you give. Print me data will come. Am I able to use the spotlight at least? No. Print me data, that's the first variable. No print age is second variable. I'm using print me age, no print age. So now see, function C, I'll say ABC, whatever, comma, 123. I want to execute this. Now I still have an error. Of course, I don't have 123 as an age. That's not correct. Maybe let's put 77 as an age. Why does it still have an error? Because my function C, and let's minimize all of these other functions that we're not using team. I can just click on this minus signs here. That will minimize. The first is string, the next is an integer. The type and the order is very critical. Right? So the first is a string, the next is an integer. So I can say fun C SD comma 77, and that's fine. But I cannot do it this way. So I take my mouse over, it will say change method to function string, then integer. If you want to change the function itself to string and string, then that's fine. So this is another. So now, any questions, team? I know I'm little kind of rapidly going into a few things. One more function only to show you tonight. And then I wanted to practice a little bit on this. It'll be really good progression from you. Okay, so function C is SD77. Now let's run this. So, and it's all printing it out for me. So it's saying that, oh, you know what? I can print, don't print my age. It's also printing the age, but it's saying don't print it. But I can use the data whenever I want. Now there's another function. Forget about this. I'm sorry, I used def. Def is more for Python. Maybe takes an input integer, right? Or x one integer by. Understood, team? So now the function is doing exactly the same thing like the last one. Let's try and test it. I'll say here funD. If I pass, what are the things I can pass into funD? If I take my mouse, it will tell me. It takes an int and an int. So I pass 10 and 23. Oops, see, at the semicolon, run it. 10 plus 23 is 33. So that's good. And I can always test it. 101 plus 231 is, and each time I send a different value, team, it's gonna honor that data and print that out for us. Okay. Now this is great, but what if I want something like int z or k? I'll say my variable, my v1 equals some name I'm giving to is not. Now I want that value to come here into int v1. My v1 equals whatever this function can do and return. Now let us say, not say, okay, function e for now, but then we'll do some math around it. It'll be easy clean. And I have two integers coming up again. Now this is z times x. Sorry, x is z is x times y. So the product of x and y is z. And that's function. Now print is fine thing when we want to always use them in the print statement. But sometimes I want the data itself. So that is when I'll say that I want to return a value. So what happens is you'll start noticing that one of the main things with main method or any other function that we're creating is this word called void. Void basically says that it does not return anything. You send something, it will do that step. Now I'm saying my function returns. So I have to say that, you know what, it returns a type string. So then it will accept what that z is. Actually, it's integer. And it'll say, you know what, okay, now I accept. I'll still kind of come up on that again, team. Now, if I say fun e and then okay, 45 comma 67. So what I'm doing is I'm sending these two variables into. So function e should be able to multiply them and give me the result. Don't worry about this plus signs here, team. It is just concatenation of the strings. The value is important. The value now for me is coming into my v1. So I'll say if my v1, if I do 45 times 67, is it 3015 dot equals how much was it? 30. Then I'll say sysO verify else issue. So what I'm saying, team, is at this point, the value of my V1, whatever is there on the right side of the equation, this function returns a value, which is an integer that goes into the left side of the equation. So if I just do a regular run for now, team, it will say the product of 45 and 67 3015 verify. Now let's say I change this to 3016 and rerun it. It'll say there's an issue out here for us. So that's for us to look into how it works. Now, what's critical sometimes is to debug now, team, and see how this thing works. So let's say I put a toggle breakpoint on my my V1, and I do a not regular run but a debug run. In 2 more minutes and I'm done. Let's switch to a perspective. I've hit the space, but at this point there's no V1 for me to look into. I will step into it because then I go into the function. Then my line 63 onwards, there are 2 new local variables, team. X and Y are born on line 63, they'll die on line 69. That is the lifetime of those variables. That's 45 and 67. That's the value. Now Z still does not have any. Let's do step into. Now Z is multiplied and it prints out that statement. And now it's returning Z. So see what happens when it returns Z. It comes back to the same point. My V1 right now has nothing here. But once I step into that, I get my V1. So that way I'm able to capture values by also passing information or not into a function. So primarily 3 types of functions. Functions that do certain activity. You don't have to send any input information. It will not give you any output. Some functions give you output. Some functions you need input. Some are both input output. All right. We'll research a little bit more on this, team, and how we can apply this to our banking assignment. Make it a little bit more effective, elegant, and how we can progress from there. Can I upload this video tonight, please? Yes, sure. It'll take me a couple of hours for it to kind of convert and all that. I'll try. Yes. Right, everyone. Thank you. I'll call it a day myself. Have a good night. See you all tomorrow, team. Thank you. Thank you, team.